win. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is sounding the call. Don't struggle through winter with a furnace you can't trust. For maintenance before winter strikes, call Legacy. Call Legacy. For furnace tune-ups and repairs to give peace of mind. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. Or to scrap your old furnace for a brand new high-efficiency one. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your new furnace, it's gotta be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
No fluff, no fillers, just pure entertainment. Sports 1440 brings the heat with bold opinions, big personalities, and Edmonton's fiercest fans. This is your turf. This is Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Weekly NFL giveaways, drink specials, huge screen TV. The hits keep coming at First Round, Edmonton's NFL headquarters. Watch NFL football at First Round, and you could win a trip to your favorite NFL city for a regular season game next season. Catch NFL action Thursday nights, all day Sunday, starting with the Pro Bowl brunch from 10:30 to 2. Then Monday night with half-price boneless wings after 6 p.m. First Round, burgers, beer, sports. Downtown and Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall.
When you get into a new Tacoma, you might suddenly find yourself expertly tackling bumps and boulders on backwood trails with a confidence you just didn't have during pothole season. All that's left to do is drive it home. Get in and go right now at Toyota, where you can lease a 2025 Tacoma 4x4 double cab SR5 from $115 weekly for 60 months at 6.79% with $7,699 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
It's time to rev up your engines at the Finning Sales Event this Tuesday. Take advantage of event exclusives and score big with 0% financing. Demo the latest Cat heavy-duty equipment as they celebrate 100 years. Plus, you can pick up your perk with every equipment purchase. $2,000 in additional discounts or free select attachments. Big machines, big savings, big fun. That's this Tuesday. Edmonton Finning, 10910 170th Street Northwest.
You haven't set your lineup yet, right? It's Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
Good morning. It's 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Go pay him a visit out in Leduc. Say hi to Trent and say your story about CeeDee Lamb. And then buy some beef jerky and win-win. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick, and Sam the intern with you here from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall. The text line 1-833-401-1440. You can reach us there or via the email Connor at sports1440.ca, Brandon at sports1440.ca, or on the YouTube chat, as well as I chime in there and say hello to everyone watching there. Lots to get to on the show today. We are going to get to the major announcement is CFL Commissioner Stuart Johnston is going to speak to the media. Duke, I heard you just say something, but nothing really came through. Are we good to join that right now?
Yeah, Kate Burness is just currently at the podium,
Okay.
so I think she's maybe just about to introduce Commissioner Stuart Johnston would be my best guess, but it is live.
All right. So when he gets up on the podium and speaks, we will go to it. I mean, I'm very curious about that. A major announcement in the CFL. We've had a few texts come in throughout the morning here about what it could potentially be. I had one that Unholy Goalie said, like, maybe they're bringing back the blackouts for home games on the TV broadcast. That was something I remember growing up. If you wanted to watch the game, you had to go down to the game if you lived in Edmonton. I'm sure in modern technology, people would find ways around that if they couldn't make it out, but I kind of think that's actually a good idea. We've had people say a whole bunch of things, but let's go right to it. Commissioner Stuart Johnston, this audio video feed via CFL Plus.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Bon après-midi et bienvenue. La route vers la Coupe Grey est bien lancée et c'est une période palpitante pour les partisans de la LCF. Mais aujourd'hui, nous sommes ici pour parler de l'avenir de notre ligue. The push towards the Grey Cup is well underway, and as Kate mentioned, it's an exciting time to be a fan of our game. Our season has showcased the hallmarks of the CFL: entertainment, excitement, and energy. But where do we go from here? What's next? We've gathered you all here today for a watershed moment in the Canadian Football League. 151 days ago, on my first day as commissioner, I stood in this very same room and I talked an awful lot about enhancing the entertainment of our great game for our fans, both in the stands and at home. And through 16 weeks of football, I've watched so many incredible games with countless unreal moments. But a few plays have also stuck in my mind. We had the catch of the year, if not the decade, but some spectators, and certainly our television viewers, didn't get a great look at it because the goalpost blocked their view. The Tiger Cats found themselves deep in their own end, with their options severely limited by the goalposts. TSN's Paul Lapalisse did a great job of describing just how limited they were and just how predictable that made the next play. Argonaut quarterback Nick Arbuckle was in the scoring zone when a 13th defender knocked down what could have been a thrilling touchdown pass. I give you the doink. These plays did not incite the changes I'll discuss today, but they serve as recent, powerful examples that show we can do better. Our game must continue to evolve and modernize for our players, our fans, and our partners. A last-second field goal in a tie game sails wide through the end zone, and the kicking team is awarded a single point and a less than inspiring victory, what some have called rewarding failure. A team settles for a long field goal instead of an exciting third down gamble because the goalposts on the goal line, as well as the safety net of a potential rouge, encourage them to play it cautiously. A touchdown pass is completed in the corner of the end zone in one stadium, but everyone knows the same catch would have been out of bounds in other venues. We have seen a defensive lineman run 50 yards downfield to make a substitution, preventing the official from whistling in the play, slowing the game down, and exhausting a player before the ensuing play. These types of idiosyncrasies have been in our game for a long time, but that doesn't have to be the case. Today, we announce a significant step towards achieving our vision for the future of the CFL with innovative landmark changes beginning next season through a phased approach. This will mark a major evolution of our game. As part of our most significant structural changes in 2027, we will move the goalposts from the goal line to the back of the end zone. This will allow passing offenses to target the middle of the end zone rather than defaulting to the sides to avoid goalposts. It will make going for a touchdown instead of settling for a field goal more attractive. It will deliver more unobstructed sight lines for fans, viewers, and television cameras. It will allow quarterbacks and punters, when operating from their own end zone, to play more freely. It will improve player safety because while collisions with the post may not be commonplace, the risk is clear. It will mean a touchdown pass will have to be stopped by a defender and not the occasional upright or crossbar. By moving the goalposts back, we project a 10% increase in completed passes in the end zone and 60 more touchdowns each year. In addition, end zones will also be shortened from 20 yards to 15. Our game will still feature the largest end zones in professional football while maintaining the importance of the kicking game. But this change ensures for the first time in years that all CFL end zones will be the same size. As you may know, Toronto's BMO Field features 18-yard end zones, and we have all seen the cropped corners at Percival Molson Stadium in Montreal. Lastly, in 2027, we will shorten the field from 110 yards to 100. This will, of course, allow offenses to start closer to the opponent's goal line. The shortened field keeps field goals in play despite the repositioned goalposts. To be clear, no changes are being made to the field's 65-yard width. Ahead of these structural changes in 2027, we will introduce a first phase of innovation in 26. This phased approach is essential. It ensures that our teams and stadiums have the time to explore how best to modify turf and reposition goalposts while evaluating opportunities for additional premium seating and new fan experiences. It also provides amateur football with a chance to review the potential impacts of these changes and determine if they wish to align with our vision and how that could be done. The first phase, coming in 2026, will include the introduction of an automatic 35-second play clock to create more consistent game flow. The CFL's current 20-second play clock must be manually initiated by an official. This change eliminates inconsistencies in timing caused by teams getting set at their own pace, varying times to set yardage markers, and much more. This change will ensure greater consistency in how long players, coaches, and fans have to wait between plays, while empowering players to control the pace of play, instilling a clear sense of urgency at the end of each half in game-altering moments. Another measure to hammer home this consistency in game flow will be the requirement to have team benches on opposite sides of the field in every stadium. Currently, some venues have benches side by side, which may require a substituting player to run nearly the length of the field to enter the game. And finally, I'll start by saying we are keeping the Rouge, which is synonymous with the uniqueness of Canadian football, but we will modify it. There will no longer be a point awarded for a missed field goal or for a punt that sails through the back of the end zone, or if it rolls out of the rear or sides without being touched by a returner. This removes the possibility that the Grey Cup or a playoff matchup, or any game for that matter, will be decided by a missed field goal or a punt or a kickoff through the end zone. However, if a punt, field goal, or kickoff settles in the end zone and a returner fails to run it out or takes a knee, a single point Rouge will still be awarded. The Rouge becomes an active play outcome. When the full package of changes takes effect in 2027, including the shorter playing field, the modified Rouge, and the repositioned goalposts, it will encourage more aggressive play calling, particularly on third down, when you consider the threat posed by a dynamic returner on a shorter field and an opponent's more favorable field position following a punt. This combination of changes will deliver more touchdowns. It will open up our end zones to our great passers and play callers, and it will ensure no game is decided by a missed field goal or a punt through the end zone. And fans in stadiums and at home will no longer have an obstruction between them and our most important highlight-worthy plays. C'est un jour important pour la LCF. C'est une avancée majeure dans l'évolution de notre sport, non seulement dans sa pratique, mais aussi dans la manière dont il fait vibrer nos partisans. This is an exciting day for the CFL. This is a clear step forward in the evolution of our game, not only in how it's played, but also in how it's enjoyed. It is important to note that this package of changes was approved unanimously by the CFL's lead governors, which includes team owners and chairs, and I want to recognize their boldness and decisive action. They understand that we can and must advance our game, not by abandoning what makes it so great and unique, but by building upon our game's legacy to make it more exciting, more entertaining, and better for our fans. This vision will enhance the value of our teams and the value of the CFL to our partners. Before we open up to questions, please turn your attention to the screen for a short video that does a great job of bringing these changes to life.
For the radio people out there, we will just get out there because obviously you can't watch that. Thank you, CFL Plus. So you can go check that out. I'm sure they'll be posting the video later on. So in case you missed it, starting in 2026, there's going to be a modified rouge. Of course, this is big because in 2027, you're going to have the goal lines move, or the goal post move to the back of the end zone. So on a rouge now, if it goes through the back of the end zone, not a rouge. If it trickles out the side, not a rouge. It's going to be basically when a player catches the ball and opts not to return it, wants the field position, takes the knee, it's a rouge. I think we all can probably agree that's a good thing. It'll be sad for me. I always loved when the teams would just punt it through the end zone to win a game. The one time I remember it happening. Underutilized coaching strategy by a lot of teams. The field is going to be shortened from 110 yards to 100 yards. Interesting. The width stays the same, 65, but the end zone is going to be smaller, 15 yards. We know there are some inconsistencies around the CFL when it comes to the end zone. Team benches on opposite sides. That's how it should be. I mean, we saw that game in Toronto just 2 weeks ago when the Elks missed the field, or the Argos hit the field goal at the end of the game, and we had Dinwiddie yelling at Elks players on the sideline. Having them on the same sideline is just weird to me. So that is good to change that. And then the play clock, 35 seconds. Before it was 20. Now it's just going to be a standard 35. The NFL uses 40 seconds. So, rather than have the refs blow it in for 20 seconds, maybe a little bit less off their plate, and you just run 35 seconds every time. 1-833-401-1440. What do you think of the rules? Honestly, I don't mind them. I think this is, some subtle changes that will make things good. I like the rouge change. I think that's a great idea. The goalpost to the back. Now, what was the number, dude? 10% of passes?
A 10% increase in end zone passes.
So I don't know, it was very rare that they hit the upright, but maybe the uprights played a factor in a lot of those throws.
They would deter from making the throws.
Yeah,
I guess, right?
And these were all unanimously approved by the CFL's governors. So I don't know, dude. I have no issue with any of these plays or these rule changes. I don't know, maybe something grinds your gears a little bit, and if anything does, let us know. 1-833-401-1440. But the rules don't start that quickly. 2026 and 2027. So it is going to be obviously slowly kind of moved in here. And someone had said it, the shortening of the field, it kind of takes into account with the end zone uprights being moved to the back of the end zone. So there's your extra 10 yards for those. But I don't know. Neil says I'm old and I don't like change. I have to shorten the field to make the field goal distances. I hate everything they're doing, but I'm old and I don't like change, from Neil. Norman says it feels like an appetizer to 4 downs, which I agree with. I just don't see that one happening. It's a 3-down game. It makes it exciting that, you can get the ball back very quickly in a tight game. Ed says, so the league is moving to become the CNFL. I mean, with the field sizes, yeah, it's going to be a little more similar. Nail says 95% good. Would like to see the field stay at 110, but other than that, all good. Yeah, that's kind of the one I was a little surprised by. I guess I get it for certain purposes, but just like having that potential for a 110-yard touchdown. MTR says, sounds like they're Americanizing the game completely. I think Declan had tweeted that out as well. Levi says, should have kept the end zone at 20, and I don't know about the play clock. I don't mind the play clock. I like the big end zone. That's a bit of a change there. Vic says, I'm disappointed they didn't announce the Shreveport Pirates were coming back to the league. That would have been something. Playboy Vic says, about time. Sounds like some great rule changes. Moving the post and shortening the end zones does not promote more touchdowns and definitely does not bring in more fans. Tony the meter reader says, very welcome news. I love it all. CFL nailed it. Phil says, okay, let's just make it 4-down football. And Blair, can the commissioner just cut to the chase already? Yeah, he had a bit of a ramble to start things off with. Daryl says, add 1 more down. Love the changes. Bring back the Eskimos. Well, that won't be a league thing. Actually, some people in the building were joking about that here. Like, what they do? They wouldn't do that for a league-wide thing. Like, they wouldn't do a press conference. No, I don't think the league would. Patty and Spruce says CFL forgot to move the season forward 3, 4, 5 weeks. Other than that, I like the changes. Spring League. I really wish they would have left the field length. Everything else is a change. I really like the athleticism you need for the larger field. I'm glad they didn't make it thinner. I'm glad they kept the width the same way. And Ed says, looks like I am canceling my Elks tickets for next year. I have no desire to watch the NFL-style football in Canada. The new commission must be a moronic American, beginning of the end for the CFL. Too bad, because it's been a great game for too many years. Well, Ed, like what makes you so upset that you would cancel your tickets? Is it the changing of the Rouge a little bit? Like, does the play clock bother you that much, shortening the field? I think we're still going to get a very exciting game. The heart of it, it's still going to be players in motion. You're still going to have 3 downs. You lined up a yard off the line of scrimmage. I mean, like, I don't think that there's too much wholesale changes that are really going to impact the game too much. I don't love the shortening of the field. I'm with you on that one. But I was not attached to the uprights, and I was not attached to the Rouge rules. And half the time, like, teams felt like they didn't want to even utilize them to their full potential. How many times did we see teams, attempting a 55-yard field goal rather than just like bombing a punt through to win a game? But that's fair, Ed. You can do whatever you want with your hard-earned cash. For me, it doesn't change that much. Guys, isn't there an opportunity to move to an NFL developmental league? The league could have so much more exposure and revenue. I know there's pride in our game, but why not make a change to grow the league? Yeah, I don't think they want to do that. I don't think there's any intention. I think the CFL wants to remain their own entity and not lose players every year, not become the AHL. And I totally understand that. Like, I don't think there'd be anybody in the front office of this league that would say, hey, let's do that. Like, well, no, we're our own thing. We're a professional league. We don't want players up and down to the NFL rosters. I don't think that would be a good move. Personally. Revenue, you might be onto something. That could make sense. Mark says nothing about improving officiating or command center mystery calls. Don't like shortening the field. Yeah. Could use a little more clarification with some of the calls that are made. The eye in the sky. Looks like the return of missed field goals is over. You have to be short by 5 yards in order for it to even be possible. Dan, you're right. That is very much true. Does take away from a little bit of the excitement of the missed field goal. There's some, but nowhere near as much as we would have seen in the past. You got the occasional one in the NFL when it comes up short. Antonio Cromartie's play will live on forever in my mind against Minnesota. But yeah, that's a good point. That is a downside of it. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll get more of your text to get your thoughts on the rule changes in case you missed it. Starting in 2027, it's kind of some bigger wholesale changes. The uprights will be moved to the back of the end zone. The end zone shortened, and I think made more standard, 15 yards. The field length goes from 110 yards to 110. And then next year, instead of that 20-second play clock, 35 seconds. Just for comparison, the NFL uses a 40-second one. And then no Rouge for, punts and field goals going through the back of the end zone. If you are opting to take the knee because you want field position, the Rouge will still exist. But they don't want to reward the missed field goals anymore. Take a break. It's Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Also streaming on our Sports 1440 Facebook, YouTube, and X. Brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Edmonton Elks Indigenous Celebration is back, presented by No Frills. September 27th versus the Saskatchewan Roughriders, featuring Indigenous dance and drum halftime performances, pregame makers market, and the unveiling of our brand new Indigenous gear. Tickets at goelks.com.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money. Fluent? Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th.
I'm sorry, I don't speak deals.
Spend less, save more when you buy Round Black things from us.
Oh, got it.
Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
While the players gear up for the new season, make sure you gear up your snack game with Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Okay, this jumbo bag of beef jerky should last the preseason.
Whoa. Will Hawk has more than just beef jerky. There's smoked sausage and pepperoni products, too.
Well, how about we have jerky for Eastern opponents and pepperoni sticks when we face the Western teams?
Now that sounds like a Will Hockey game plan.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Some people wake up and get dressed for work in a suit and tie or a nice dress. At GS Construction, we're less fashion forward and more putting our best foot forward. We wear hard hats and steel toe boots, and most importantly, we wear 50 years of experience with pride. It's not glamorous, it's definitely not easy, but it matters. We do it well. So if you'd like to be part of something where your work matters, GS Construction is hiring. Just remember, when you come for an interview, it's the tie. See more at gsconstruction.ca.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
Coming up on Icy Road Drivers, Canadians face the repercussions of an early frost. Will this be a bump in the road, bring a stop to their journey? Or did they get an early reminder that it was time to beat the rush and schedule an expert service appointment at their local Toyota dealer? Because it's time to swap those tires, get that oil checked, and store those summer tires until warm days return. Book your appointment today and ready your Toyota for the road ahead.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Who should start? Who needs to hit the bench? Find out with Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
Welcome back. It is Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick, Sam the intern with you here from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall. You can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Sports 1440 AM on the tube, I think, is the best way to go. Triple Crown messaging in. CFL changes not too bad. We got a few other people. I can dig the changes. Could have kept the 110-yard field, though, from Deanocracy. KD says this doesn't hurt the game at all. It's better. So the chat sharing their opinions. Kevin Claus says, I like it as well. More touchdowns is better. Also says, I hope you guys have a CFL Fantasy Football League next season. Can't rule anything out. It'll be tougher, but we don't. I think we might have to use the official league and just do week to week fantasy, because I think that could be fun. And I wanted to set it up this year, and then life got in the way. But maybe next year we'll look at that. For those of you, just kind of scrolling through here, it seems to be quite split. To be honest with you, a lot of people like it. A lot of people don't like certain parts of it, and then some people just don't like any of it. Aaron says, tell the old head to calm down. He needs to realize this is going to help a dying league. B-Rad says, long overdue with building of a level of consistency at all stadiums, and play clock move is perfect. Yeah, there was inconsistencies with the play clock. It was 20 seconds, but it could be at the ref's discretion. I think this is just going to be better for offenses, probably defense. You get the play coming in, you get a chance to, make your substitution. It's just going to be standard, 35 seconds every time. For comparison, as we mentioned, the NFL does 40. So I like that rule. To me, that one just seems simple. There's some things you can just do to kind of simplify the game. The refs don't have to worry about starting it. Just, okay, you have 35 seconds and watch out for it. Max says, it's the 3-down rule that turns me away from the CFL. I get that it's an important distinction about the NFL or from the NFL, but I think that makes a lot less entertaining. Well, and I mean, I think it can go both ways, right? Sure, how many times, second or it's 3rd and 2, and you're like, damn, I really wish my team had an extra down here to try to get the first down and keep the offense going. At the same time, you're punting the ball away. The other team gets another opportunity. And in the fourth quarter, where there's times where an NFL team can run the clock and bleed it right out, converting, first down after first down. In the CFL, sometimes that just gives us some great action. Like the game's not over. After that second down, you're punting the ball away. So, yeah, it's what to me is the biggest rule, really separates the two leagues. The field size was another one, and having players in motion. That's a huge one. Nail says NFL is great football. If you can't get 10 yards at 4 downs, you should quit. No, defenses have something to say about that one for sure. MTR says, how would a developmental league even work with 9 teams and the NFL having 32? Yeah, it wouldn't work. It just wouldn't be possible, in my humble opinion. I think we saw that in like hockey back in the day where you'd have 2 teams sending players to the AHL on one team. Like the Oilers had to do that. And then there was problems because certain prospects weren't getting played as much. Like I just don't think there's any way it could happen. Playbook Vix texting in, the goalposts can't change. It's the most exciting part of the CFL. Give me a break, people. LOL. The only one that I can see people being upset about is 110 to 100. Well, as the texter said earlier, like it with the uprights being moved to the back of the end zone, when it goes wide right, there's no return anymore. That was an exciting part. Like I like that aspect. I think even NFL fans, like when they get a missed field goal or a short field goal returned, you're jazzed up because it's probably your team's best athlete returning it against field goal protection. Like it's like a lot of big offensive linemen. So there's always a chance for a big return. So I understand if people don't like it. Quickly, CJ80M says the pack cost them $275 on his parlay. Yeah, it also knocked a lot of people out of their survivor pools. Shout out to the Browns. Farm Boy texting in. I met with the new commissioner less than a month ago in Saskatchewan. He never mentioned any of this, and I'm an owner. He kept it on the down low. Seems to me any gain they make by moving goalposts back would be lost by shortening the end zone. Seems like a wash. Get ready to see those long 35-yard field goals. No name. Man. Okay, here we go. Rob, the ref. CFL ref. Well, this will be interesting for the CFL. I like the goalposts moving and a 35-second clock. No wide field goal returns after 2026. Plus, Saskatchewan, Calgary, and Montreal will have to change out their turfs as they have permanent markings and not painted like the rest. The other consideration is amateur sports that may share the stadiums could be in flux if they don't adopt the same changes. Yeah, and I guess that becomes the question. What do you start to see at the collegiate level, high school? Will they make these changes? I would think so. If the end game is to make it into the CFL, maybe you just adapt into it. But we'll have to see. I'm intrigued. You know what I would say, whether you like or dislike the rule changes from the CFL, you have to respect the fact that they're willing to do something and try to do something, because the game is not as popular as it once was. A lot of people are more sucked into the NFL than the CFL. So you have to try to do something. So I do give Commissioner Johnston and, the board of directors, the owners, like they're trying to do something. They're trying to fix what they think are maybe some flaws in the CFL game. And at the very least, I can respect that. Did they shorten the end zones to make it easier for the fire truck to drive around? Maybe. A little more efficient. Less fuel burning. I actually, Duke, might be able to drive the fire truck. I had a conversation at the watch party over the weekend. I don't know if they were being truthful to me, but I might have a way to drive the fire truck. So let's watch out for that. The new play clock will reduce the number of plays and allow teams to run out the clock. Brutal. There could be some circumstances of that, but sometimes the refs aren't always getting that 20-second one in as quick. So we'll see. We'll see about that. I know maybe Rob has to text in and let us know what he thinks about the 35-second play clock and how much it changes there. Hacksaw says, boys, to me, all the changes aside from the automatic play clock is lipstick on a pig. I like the field size, goalpost positioning, and the crazy rouge. Stolat John. I hate the Americanization of our Canadian culture. And it's not just Z versus Z. Of the key unique differences in the Canadian game, the missed field goal and the strategy behind thinking of trying one, given that potential outcome will now be gone. Don't like it. Stolat John. I get it. Honestly, like when I first heard that, I don't think I really considered that. Like I do like the missed field goal returns. So yeah, that one kind of ruffles my feathers just a little bit. Jimmy says, of the rule changes, it's a solution looking for a problem. My view is that those that care will hate it. Those that don't care, don't care. The Rouge I can understand, but the field size and goalposts make no sense. And that's fair, Jimmy. I get what you're saying. Like the diehard CFL fans probably won't like this. They probably were happy with the way their game was. The casual fan, does it change that much? Is that like, if you're listening right now and you're a casual CFL fan, you go to let's say 1 or 2 games a year. Do these rule changes make you want to go to more football games? Duke, put yourself in that. Like, of these rule changes, are you like, yes, no more Rouge, I'm going to the game, or shorter field, count me in? Like, I don't know if that actually is enough to get a casual fan to say, hey, this could be more exciting. Let's go.
Yeah, I have a hard time putting myself in that specific type of a frame of mind to look at it, be like, because I don't know if it would change me or not. What I would guess maybe or assume to an extent is that, let's just say a non-CFL fan, an NFL fan, is clicking through the channels on a Saturday afternoon earlier in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And he stumbles across a CFL game and says, what's this about? Or knows about it, but dips in. The rules that follow more similarly in line to the NFL gains viewers that way. Now, as you pointed out, yeah, at 100% it will alienate some of the diehards and the true blue bloods of this sport and this league more specifically, that go back for well over 100 years at this extent, or at this point, excuse me. But to me, it's a matter of necessity for the CFL. Like you said, like they're willing to change. That is not something we've seen. And as attendance goes down and no teams are really particularly profitable with a few minor exceptions, it's either adapt or die. And there was some text about sad to see the beginning of the end for the CFL. Well, to hate to break it to those listeners, that's already happened. Like, this is a necessity for the league to try and spur new interest or gain new traction in previously untapped demographics.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, the Elks have been bad for the last number of years, and that has been a very strong reflection of the attendance. But you're not, like, even if they were winning, are you gaining new people, new fans to the game? And I think that's where the league's at right now. In terms of the rules themselves, I think I've been banging the drum on the Rouge. Either it's complete elimination or at bare minimum what we're seeing here with it has to be able to be played to count. And so that I love. The field dimensions and the goalposts, those are kind of like, yeah, whatevers. Like I don't feel positive or negative about those in any particular way. It's like, all right, sure. Maybe the shortening of the field from 110, I'm kind of like, that was one unique thing that to me won't make a huge difference in the game.
The more we talk about it, the less I like the uprights. I know. Okay, yeah, it was funny because the commissioner gave 3 examples of plays that were impacted by the uprights. 2 of them benefited the Elks. So we were joking like, oh, league initiative against Edmonton. They don't want them to have these plays benefit them anymore. But I like the return from a wide field goal. So like that one, the more I think about it, I don't think I like it. Play clock I like. And just on the topic of, the business aspect of it, only 2 teams last year in the CFL were profitable. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, $7 million profit. Rough Riders, $2.1 million profit. Every other team, 7 out of 9, did not make money. So they do have to make some changes. Lots of text rolling in here. Lots of people fired up with this one. Stulo says, did you guys see a situation where the CFL expansion into the U.S. again for the CFL? I don't think it worked great last time, but it's before my time, to be honest. My time as well. I mean, I was alive, but I was very young. Those U.S. teams didn't have to abide by the ratio, right? So that benefited them. I don't think so. Expansion, maybe, but they got to grow the game in their current markets. and then maybe look at expansion. Aaron says, look at it from both sides of the ball. On defense, you can say, man, my team just caused a 2-out. I get the ball back. I know I'm in the minority, but I love the CFL. I don't regularly watch the NFL. The quirks of the game make it fun to watch. I don't like the change. I don't want the changes, but I know it's inevitable. Yeah. And like, Aaron, that's like, to me, like you're looking, this might be better for the game. It changes the game you love, but it might be better for it long-term and keep it around a little bit longer. CF fans should be happy there's a commissioner that is willing to make changes. Something needed to get done to address ratings and getting fans in the seat. Doing nothing hasn't worked. BG. Totally agree. Tony the meter reader says new commission has done more in months than Ambrosi did in years. Subtle changes that don't follow the NFL too much. Ambrosi promised a new team and moving the Grey Cup up 3 weeks. Neither happened. Everyone in my social circle loves these NFL, and hopefully this brings more fans to our game. And one more before we get to break here. Talking with my friends who played football at lower levels, they always mention the biggest difference between the NFL and the CFL is 1 yard off the ball. It makes it easier for offenses to get momentum. 4 downs would make the tush push way too effective. Cautiously optimistic about these rule changes from JDO. Yeah, the yard off the ball is something. Absolutely. The extra down, something. Mark says quickly, do you guys think Trey Benson is worth a number 1 waiver wire pick? I tried to pick him up in all my leagues. He was gone. I would be all over that one. And then there was one more. Duke, did you see the Oilers jerseys? What do you guys think? I applaud them for trying something new. I think I'm going to hold out until I see them on the ice. That's kind of been my standard answer. You know, if you're trying to do something new for the Oilers, it's not easy. They went with the font. The color looks okay. But for me, I must sit back and wait until they hit the ice. What do you think, Duke?
Yeah, I like them. It's a deviation from, like, the Oilers are regarded as some of the best uniforms. So a lot of the time, teams with that reputation are cautious about rolling out new ones. And, you know, a lot of what we're talking about with the CFL are upsetting their core fan base and making changes to what's been a winning recipe. But I like them. I like them a lot, actually. And yes, as always, you kind of reserve final judgment until you see them in action. But at first glance, I'm a big fan. I like them a lot.
Let us know. I mean, there's lots of things to talk about today. CFL is going to be the main one. Lots of text to get to when we return. It is a Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440, streaming on our YouTube channel, Sports 1440 AM, Facebook, YouTube, and X, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
While the players gear up for the new season, make sure you gear up your snack game with Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Okay, this jumbo bag of beef jerky should last the preseason.
Whoa. Will Hawk has more than just beef jerky. There's smoked sausage and pepperoni products, too.
Well, how about we have jerky for Eastern opponents and pepperoni sticks when we face the Western teams?
Now that sounds like a Will Hockey game plan.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
No fluff, no fillers, just pure entertainment. Sports 1440 brings the heat with bold opinions, big personalities, and Edmonton's fiercest fans. This is your turf. This is Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Dennis here from Weiss Johnson, along with my brother Mark.
Hi there.
My bro is the go-to for all our tough installs.
I do all the hard work. He gets all the glory. Mister, I'm on the radio.
Hey, we can't all be famous, but seriously, Mark's the best, and he's here if you're looking to add a legal basement suite in your home.
We install tons of furnace systems for folks wanting basement suites. It helps to subsidize their mortgages.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Obviously.
Weiss Johnson, your legal suite heating system experts.
Visit weiss-johnson.com today.
It's time to rev up your engines at the Finning Sales Event this Tuesday. Take advantage of event exclusives and score big with 0% financing. Demo the latest Cat heavy-duty equipment as they celebrate 100 years. Plus, you can pick up your perk with every equipment purchase, $2,000 in additional discounts or free select attachments. Big machines, big savings, big fun. That's this Tuesday. Edmonton Finning, 10910 170th Street Northwest.
Get the inside scoop for your team on Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
It's 11:43. Welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Streaming on Sports 1440's YouTube channel, Sports 1440 AM. Go give us a sub, a like, ring the bell, all those sorts of things. Also, you can watch on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram. That's it for now. Maybe one day we'll do more. But go check us out, give us a like, and if you're watching in the YouTube channel, say hello. Good to have you here. I don't know if it's as fired up as the text line. The text line, a lot. And people say no one cares about the CFL. We got a lot of texts coming in here right now about the CFL. People are really into it. I should tell you though, coming up next, Low Tide off. How about a round of applause for Low Tide? Getting married over the weekend. Congratulations to the happy couple. Tide taking a day off. So coming up next with Declan on the line with Low Tide. Greg will be by. Declan is fired up. Does not love the Americanization of the game. So we'll be talking a lot of CFL today on Sports 1440. Then at 2 o'clock, it is the Jason Greger Show. We'll deviate a little bit. Dean Evison, head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets, will join us. We've got Joshua Afori, local boxer, up and comer in the scene, going to join us at 2:40 as well. Cam Tate's 2-minute warning, Spec Woodley, and we're going to go get a couple the high-profile CFL writers and reporters to join us as well to break down the rule changes. It'll be a fun day here on Sports 1440. Keep it locked on wherever you're watching, YouTube, Facebook, X, or right here on the AM dial. Gord Oil says, those jerseys have got to be why Connor hasn't signed yet. He's joking. He's not totally serious on that one. Let's go back into the inbox. I want to get to as many as we can. Slurpy Sean says, I like all the changes. Then go Bills. Moving the goalpost back does make it a lot safer. That's for sure. Yeah. I mean, the uprights, they got in the way. There's no denying that. It was fun to watch missed field goals be returned, but the ball hit it sometimes. Players ran into it. They had to, move. I'm sure at times there was quarterbacks probably like, okay, I want to make this throw, but that upright's right in my way. I got to hang on to it a little bit longer. So 10%, sure. The number sounds about right. Corey says, I like the changes. If I had one change I would make, I would create an in-game live betting app for CFL fans while they're at their stadiums. Well, play Alberta. Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth. Maybe that's the next thing to come. Titan says, I just want to take my family to a fun game with a competitive Elks team on the field. I welcome the changes, but winning is everything. Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, in this league, there's going to be 50% of the teams that are losers every week. So they need to appeal to those people as well. You're not going to win them all, but we'll see what happens, how much this really does change. John G says, sad to see the CFL keep kicking themselves in the nuts. I'm not interested in an NFL North. Maybe I'm just a crusty old man. T-Big says, as a former Esky fan and not enjoying the product for 15 years plus, any changes for a league that is hemorrhaging should be welcomed all day. I will be attempting a viewing when the changes take effect. Better to see changes than to see the CFL turn into the Hudson Bay Company. Regards, T-Bags. Well, that's good. There's one CFL fan who's going to be tuning in and checking it out again. Wade from Drayton Valley says, hey guys, every other professional sports league in North America has made some type of changes to this rules in some way. I applaud the CFL for at least trying these rules. I have no issues with the changes announced. Today, we will still have an extra player and a wider field. I'm all in. Guys, I expect this to be a precursor to an agreement to an association with the XFL. Johnson wants an affiliation with the CFL, and it would be a way, talking to Dwayne The Rock Johnson, for the CFL to find a new source of revenue without changing the league drastically. No name on that one. Lance on the south side. Let's be honest about the rule changes. They're all about the sports book and handicapping. It makes it easier for betting sites. It is too difficult to accurately handicap when you can call a score on a miss. Never looked at it that way. A lot of text also coming in here about the Oilers jerseys. A lot of people wanted the 06 era. Levi said that. A few other people. Braden says it looks like a jersey you could buy at Walmart 10 years ago. It did kind of give me like from behind. It's like create a jersey on like an NHL video game. But we'll see. If I was Lotad, I'd be steamed. 45 minutes into the show and you finally mention his wedding. Well, I mean, he didn't tell the majority of people till the day before. So, I mean, I think it's kind of a great tribute. Patty and Spruce just gives the old clap emoji for Low Tide. Yeah, shut up, Low Tide. Vic says, I believe the CFL was due for a change. I am open to seeing how the changes work. Remember, as easy as the changes are being made, they can be changed or adjusted to make them work better. From Vic. Yeah, well, I mean, the field length might be a little tougher. I don't know what the teams are going to do with that. Like, maybe it's just an extra spot for cameras to be set up. You know, I'm sure teams will utilize the extra space.
End zone seating,
some
field
seats.
level.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the party deck or whatever.
Some bleachers.
Yeah. I mean, that'll happen for sure. You're going to utilize the space. Oh, MTR texting in 4 to 6 weeks for CD Lamb. That must just be coming down. Hey, Aaron says the jerseys are beautiful. Everyone just likes to complain. I'll be grabbing one personally. Okay. We did a lot of CFL for the next 5 minutes. If the show wraps up, we can do some NFL. Ricky Cheese texted and says, hey, fellas, wanted your thoughts on this trade. I lost Connor for the season, needed a running back, as the next one I've got is Kareem Hunt, and I've got Aaron Jones on the IR. I traded Dak Prescott, DJ Moore, and Luther Burden for Herbert, Etienne, and Browning. Throw in. He was going to drop him. Redraft league. I kind of like Etienne with this Jags team now.
Mm-hmm.
You know I love Justin Herbert. He'll probably have some up and down games. You know, I think eventually...
Yesterday, fantasy, not very good.
Yeah, they're probably going to... Well, then, hey, good defense in the Broncos. Full respect.
I look at this and I think he gave up too much. Like, if we're talking fantasy quarterbacks, yes, Dak Prescott is now without CeeDee Lamb, which apparently we now know to be 4 to 6 weeks, but still got George Pickens. Like, that is still a... And presuming CD does come back, like, it's a dynamic offense. Dak can put up fantasy numbers, even if the Cowboys lose every game because they give up 60 points.
2 Bears receivers, though.
That's what so I would have been okay with moving on from one of them. Luther Burden breaking out a little bit yesterday after being essentially unused entirely through the first 2 weeks. DJ Moore, I think, is still the number one receiver in the grouping, but Odunze having something to say about that in the early going here. I would have tried to give up just one of those receivers and then maybe another depth piece you had on your team. Because I think the upside for a guy like Moore and Burden is still quite high. And you need a running back. I don't like the CeeDee Lamb news makes Justin Herbert an upgrade on Dak Prescott for me. And the Jake Browning, I mean, it's like you said, it's a throw-in, whatever, reserve bench guy.
Yeah. You probably just drop him. Bengals got to make a trade. Go out there and get Jameis. Make it happen. I too lost James Conner. Would the CB radio team be looking to move on from Jacobs or Swift in a potential trade? Potentially. Send us an offer, Aaron. Kyle says, I'm up 60, but my opponent has Amon-Ra, Goff, and Laporta. Should I be worried? Potentially. I mean, if we get a Buffalo/Baltimore game, yeah, probably those guys going to make some plays.
Connor, I'm up 45 points.
Yeah.
My opponent has Sam Laporta and Lamar Jackson.
Ooh.
Am I in danger?
Wouldn't surprise me to see Lamar put up like 30. But maybe Laporta only puts up 8.
What if it's just a Derrick Henry game?
Oh, I hope it is.
He should be rested. Barely played, barely used at all last week.
Yeah. He's ready to go.
Should be ready
He'll
to go.
be needed tonight.
Yes. Pound the rock.
Still, John said, I know I already expressed my thoughts. Has there been any discussion on the trickle down to amateur fields? We haven't heard anything yet. I mean, this is obviously quite new. And then collegiately as well, what's going to happen?
Yeah, in his message, Commissioner Johnston said, the reason they're kind of doing this in a phase-out thing, the field changes aren't coming until 2027 to give, the teams in the CFL time to make the proper adjustments and accommodations in their own stadiums, but also to give amateur football time to decide if they want to align with these new rules, dimensions, etc. So he mentioned it. He mentioned the amateur football, but there's no word yet, obviously, on whether or not they're going to follow suit necessarily.
Yeah. Good for Low Tide. Is Declan the best man? JR and Red Deer, no, he's got to work. He's here. I don't know if there was a best man, actually. Maybe Low
you
Tide's
need
son.
a witness.
Yeah.
To legally get married.
Well, his son was there.
Oh, okay. Then that seems like obvious.
Sorry,
Deck.
Alfred said the CFL should start selling pierogies. That might get me in there. Wait, I'm already there. Okay, I guess the casual fan would have to get sold on by pierogies. Framer Johnny, quickly, sorry boys for changing the subject. What's your thoughts on Varsho's catch in the 5th inning yesterday? How could they not overturn that? Thankfully, it didn't cost them the game. Framer Johnny, my thoughts are it's a catch. I don't understand how it wasn't. Duke, you got an angle I didn't see?
No, it actually, we're watching Blue Jays in 30 right now on the studio TVs, and I just saw it again, and I'm a little perplexed. Speaking of crazy catches, did you see the Nationals outfielder doing literally hacky sack with the ball?
No.
He jumped to make a catch up off the wall, made it, but it kind of popped out of his glove as he hit the wall, and then kicked it back up again, juggled it with his bare hand, and then caught it.
I'm going to check it out.
It is wild.
You know I'm watching NFL all day yesterday, right?
Yeah, but you didn't even see it come. It was all over my socials. I wasn't watching that game live.
You know, it was all over my socials.
Justin
Herbert to Keenan Allen. Baby.
Yeah,
that's what was on
I
mine.
had that in the Carrie Show intro this morning just for you.
Did you have the whole thing? Like the extended cut?
Because Harlan calls a touchdown and then it's quiet for a little bit and then he says something else. No, the highlight I had didn't go that far, unfortunately.
For those listening who cut up our audio, I'm looking at you, Josh. We need the extended cut. CBS Sports Twitter feed. Trev says, I like the changes. I used to be a season ticket holder and now I'm intrigued to go back and watch a game live. Also, new tarps for the Oilers are fire. Hey, Trev, I like to hear that. Yes, the confusing change is shortening the field, which does not seem to be a need from the Cardiff kid out in Sask. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes around the league, man. Around the country, how fans react to this one. If you're the Chiefs, would you trade for Hill from Miami? Trevor, yep, sure would. If I was the Chiefs. I don't know what it would cost. Can I afford him?
They have Tyquan Thornton. What do they need Tyreek Hill for?
Yeah, stud. Maybe
Who was it that texted that in before week 1? That said, hey, Tyquan Thornton.
Nicky Northside or something?
Yeah,
one of those?
He's got a touchdown in the last 2 games since and has been their best receiver.
Not week 1, though.
No, not week 1.
Well, that's going to do it for us. Up next, Lowdown Flow Tide with guest host Declan Kruger. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check the podcast and all that. If you missed anything right now, Sports 1440 update with Brandon Douglas, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Only available in Leduc.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
In case you missed it, at 11 o'clock, CFL Commissioner Stuart Johnston making an announcement as changes coming to the league in both the 26 and 27 season. Next year, introduction of an automatic 35-second play clock, benches on opposite side of the field, and no longer points for missed field goal or punts to sail out of end zones. Ball must remain in play for the Rouge to count. And in 2027, goalposts moving to the back of the end zone and a shortening of both the end zone and the overall field length. Down the highway this morning, Calgary Stampeders signing quarterback Logan Bonner as they have injuries to both Vernon Adams Jr. and P.J. Walker. Week 3 in the NFL wrapping up tonight. Baltimore Ravens hosting the Detroit Lions. Both teams coming in 1-1 on the season, kickoff at 6:15. NHL preseason 4-game slate. Blue Jackets hosting the Sabres. Penguins are in Montreal. Lightning up against the Hurricanes. And the Nightcap has the Ducks hosting the Mammoth in SoCal. Light day in the majors, just 3 games as the league hits its regular season final week. Braves hosting the Nationals. Brewers taking on the Padres. And the Cardinals head to San Fran against the Giants. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is the Lowdown with Low Tide. Guest host Declan Kruger sitting in. I'm Brian Douglas. That's your Sports 1440 update.